Being trans is the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me. It is the most wonderful gift of a lifetime. And even after, the way we've been treated and everything that's happened, I just feel so deeply lucky every single day. And I want to tell you about it. I want to talk to you about it because it's a beautiful gift in, being non-binary trans. It's a beautiful gift in a trillion ways. But there are two especially that I'm loving today. Number one, questioning systems. Everybody goes through this, or supposed to go through this cycle of like being taught, this is what you deserve. This is what you don't deserve. This is how you act. This is what you should care about. This is what you should do with your life. This is what, just go through the system, of being inside the system and then figuring out it's fake. I was never an insider. I was never within the system. So I could see from like being a child that lots of things were made up and fake, and you didn't have to care about them. And what a beautiful gift.
Okay, so this is another trans, non-binary, older, biological male who describes themselves as a queer, non-binary, trans. This person has been around for a long time. As long as probably I have, in some sense. And they all, it's just, I've watched this person find this grift and just run with it. Somehow he thinks he's a life coach, or they think they're a life coach, and they have all of this knowledge to give to young people and how to basically be non-binary. Why would you this is the part that is just upsetting to me. And I know some people out there think I am being transphobic by saying this, but I'm not. I'm somebody who's lived this life for a long time, and I do not understand why you would sell transness to young people as if it's a gift and as if it's better than being just born as you are and learning how to walk the world that way. And why do you even question it? And all of the things that these trans influencers put into these young people's heads. I will say it again to those people out there who keep calling me the names you keep calling me. It's so insane and embarrassing for you, but that you think trans has been around forever. It has not. There's a difference between what you all like to call gender, queer, or what is it called when you don't feel male or female, and all of these things. That's different than being trans. You are selling this identity of trans. Trans has not been around for a long time. Gender, that's the word I'm looking for. Gender nonconforming. Gender nonconforming has been around forever. That's not trans. Those are two different things. When you try to push against what I'm telling you, these people are talking young people into being trans. There's a difference there. Okay, what do you think a tomboy is? A tomboy is gender nonconforming. A feminine man is gender nonconforming. That has been around forever, no doubt about it. But when you start to equate non-binary and trans and queerness with this whole idea that this person loves to sell, I love being trans. It's the best thing. That's just actually why I sit here today, because it isn't fun. It isn't something that you should necessarily celebrate. What you should celebrate is, as an adult, finding a space to live life in a less uncomfortable space with your gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria equals transsexualism, nothing else. All of this identity choice is a choice. You are choosing this person. Look at how they look. Does this look like a woman to you? That's why they say non-binary trans, because then they can create this whole new category and influence young people to take this on and have top surgeries and bottom surgery. How is that non-binary? And non-binary surgeries, chests without nipples. You and I both know this isn't going to end well when we have people like this pushing this in. And they always start with, I love you. Every single video I found today was, I love you. That's creepy. That is actually creepy.
Hello, beautiful. I just want to tell you, I love you. I know people don't talk this way, but I do. We do. And 2025 has been so heavy for so many people, such a swirl of bad news pretty constantly, heavy news, people being awful to other people. And again, I love you.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you're here.
Wow.
I know in my soul we're going to take care of ourselves in 2026. And I know that you have been through a lot. And I love you.
Oh my God.
Please, please take good care of yourself. Let's lift each other in 2026.
Do you not, I'm sure you do, not get the vibes of a cult leader there? How do you not? Who's we? Talk for yourself, okay? We, the trans, queer, non-binary, come here. I will help you find your peace. You are lovely. I love you. Every other thing that comes out, every other sentence that comes out of this person's mouth is, I love you. We are together. Come here. It's the most cultish, insane thing. And also, you had a bad 2025 because you got called out on your stuff coming after the young people. And you're going to continue to get called out on it.
What is something that you felt was wrong about you?
Well,
and
years
that you
ago,
now
my
would
queerness,
never change.
Obviously. And now I would never, obviously.
Say it again.
Queerness.
Right.
So many people on the internet, I don't know if you get this, but they say you're doing it for the attention. And that is just a flashing red light about how they were treated. Yes, I'm doing it for the attention. Don't you want some too? Mm-hmm. Don't we all want some? Right?
Yes.
And don't we all deserve some?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, to be seen.
To be seen. That's been our theme for today.
It's everything.
OMG, these people are crazy. Actually, what does that even mean, to be seen? Okay. Yeah, of course. But they just admitted it. They admitted it that they want to be this person. They want to be famous. They want to do they need attention. They crave attention. So this is what we used to call an attention, by the way. But the thing is, I don't care as an adult what you do, but you are on TikTok. I'm on TikTok now, as you all know. And thank you again for subscribing to this channel. And thank you for joining my TikTok, because I'm going to blow it up. I am already getting people pissed at me. It is so awesome. But that when they want to shut you up, that's when you don't shut up. But people want to shut this guy up because I'm watching. I am watching. I really believe, in my opinion, that this person, and I'm not the only one, there's many of us who believe this person targeting young people. Okay. We don't need people like this person who thinks they're a life coach and on some level, very cultish behavior and the way they talk like they're a therapist or something. But they also put their own childhood trauma into everything. They use their childhood trauma as a way to sort of reach out to other kids saying, my trauma, and you don't have to have this. This guy had the most traumatic childhood, and he loves to talk about his traumatic childhood.
Hello, dear one. How are you feeling? I want to talk to you about being exhausted, if that's you, because I'm not one of these friends on the internet that's like, that's what the regime wants you to feel, exhausted, and as if like you're just supposed to get over it and keep going. I think you need a balance to take good care of yourself and a balance of the energy, and you'll decide. I was distracted by my own like fashions and colors. You'll decide.
Okay, they are such a narcissist. He can't even do an actual video without looking at himself and saying, I was distracted. That's why I picked this one, because that right there is just so, it just says everything about this person. They are so obsessed with themselves. And I'm just telling any parent out there, if your kid is watching, you better be careful. This person intentions are to suck you in, to bring you in, and also lay their own childhood trauma onto your child and somehow manipulate your child into believing that their childhood is traumatic as well because you're saying no like a good parent should.
When I was a child, I was told again and again I had no value, so I had to create my own value, and I would put on these cabarets in the barn for nobody except you. I was imagining you.
Wow.
And here you are.
It's the creepiest video. I mean, really? Seriously? Whoa, that one should have gave you serious vibes and your hair standing up on the back of your neck. What? Told you. All about their traumatic childhood in the barn with nobody there, but I was actually seeing you. You were already planning on being the cult leader back in the day, and you knew like you were going to get all the kids to follow you. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, watch this.
I love being trans. Truly. If you are trans, I love you. I see the real you, and my heart is with you right now. If you go to a trans influencers page, I'm going to bet you real good money that you're going to find a good person who's been treated poorly, who's trying to lift humanity out of darkness, who's trying to help, with understanding and love and kindness. And I just love us.
Wow.
I really just love us.
I just can't. What a psycho. Okay, a trans influencer who's there just because they had a traumatic childhood. See, again, everyone has a traumatic childhood, and they're just trying to help you and to love you. Oh, really? Oh, really? So here, let me segue. Thanks, Jeffrey, for helping me segue into some trans influencers. And you tell me what you think and what good they're doing for the young generation. Here, number one.
When I got my cake pops removed, I specifically asked my surgeon to leave the bag intact. That's because down the line, if I wanted to use my cake pop stick and turn it into a donut, the bag can come in handy. There are a couple methods that use the bag itself, but the one that I'm referring to is called the cake pop stick inversion method.
Y'all remember that one, the classic one. Okay, there's trans influencer number one, Lily Tino, talking about their cake pops. Okay, so yeah, that's right. There's their childhood trauma on display for you right there, talking to your kids who eat cake pops. My kid eats cake pops. He doesn't know about this video, but every time he wants a cake pop when we go to Starbucks, I'm just like, we can't keep our now this person completely ruined it. Okay, here's another trans influencer that is doing great work.
Day 66, being a girl, and today I'm in nature. Trees, I love them. Water, lakes, I love them. Heels, they're my hiking heels. I love them. Okay, come on. Bridges, love them.
So y'all remember that one. This is literally the early time of Dylan making jokes about women. This is the most misogynistic crap focused on kids. And then all of a sudden now this person is one of the the biggest transgender influencer in the world. Okay. When it started out as a joke, there is no doubt about it. And today, this person is the biggest influencer of young people and the trans ideology and identity. Okay, so here's another one. This one, just be prepared. This guy also they influence a ton of young people.
This has never happened to me before, but I have been invited to 3 sex parties tonight. And I know you're thinking there's no way that I'm going to attend all 3, to which I say, think again. I am all about breaking records and being of service to my community. One's at 5 p.m. and I'm almost there. Then the next one has a hard cutoff at 7, and that's in Midtown, so I gotta get there. The third one's at 9:30, also in Midtown, so this is very manageable. I have snacks, I have breath mints, I have long socks so I can stick a bottle of lube in them at close check if I need to. I am...
Okay, so this person talking about sex parties. And if you see at the top of the video, up there it says 18 plus vlog. Even talking, they're admitting they're talking to 18-year-olds, okay, which are adults. But are you kidding me? You don't have to be 18 to watch this. This was on Instagram, okay, and on TikTok. You don't have to be. You have to be 13. This person who's a non-binary, queer, trans influencer, okay, and knows exactly who's watching their page, talking about going to 3 sex parties in one night. Now, I am super sex positive, and that is totally okay with me when you are talking to other adults and your audience is adults. But you know damn well your audience is not adults. They are young kids. I'm going to end with this last one because this guy is amazing and awesome, been around for a long time, has an influence on the young people, but has always had a great message. Just be yourself, okay? And is so against what's happening. And so thank God that this person is stepping up to the plate and saying this.
Why are we putting in cartoons trans flags and we're all this stuff that and that's my personal opinion. I don't agree with it. I think it's too young. I don't agree with 8-year-olds wearing makeup either. It was never sexualized and weird and like, why does a 5-year-old watching a Netflix cartoon show need to know about that right now? Why? And then let's just really take it there.
Let's take it there.
Why are we encouraging our kids to be a different gender and feed them false information when they're so young? So this is what I said recently that people really understood. When I grew up and I started looking different, right? My mother encouraged me to just be myself. When I started wearing makeup and being more feminine and wanting to do certain things, it wasn't, oh my God, Jeffrey needs, what do they call it now? Gender affirming care. I'm done. She let me be myself. She didn't push me to be anything. Just like when you're a tomboy, did your mom try to, get you a surgery to be a, you know what I mean? Did she cut your tits off because at 13? No. So nowadays it's all these fucking weirdos telling their kids, oh my God, you like a Barbie? You're a woman. No, that's just a little boy experimenting, not knowing what the fuck he's doing.
And there you go. Thank God people like him who have a huge platform are saying exactly what many of us are saying and getting such insane pushback from the trans ideological space. Trans people have always been. No, they haven't. No, they have not. Okay, so stop saying that. It is actually untrue. Trans is a language that you created. It wasn't around 500 years ago or 200 or even maybe 100 years ago. Transsexualism was. And it was always known as a disorder until you people decided that anyone can be trans and let's just cut tits off 13-year-olds and let's give kids puberty blockers and then justifying it that you've always been around. Okay, so no, you haven't. It's disgusting and gross and it's child abuse. So with that, thank you so much again for subscribing to the channel. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. It's amazing. Thanks for joining my TikTok channel. It's starting to grow and I'm going to totally be doing the same thing over there. So with that, baby girl is doing amazing. And I think I want to go take her to the snow, but I think it's a little bit too early maybe to go to the snow. So I don't think I am actually going to do that, but I am going to go skiing with my son because he's never skied before. So that's what we're going to be doing soon and getting away from all this insanity. Let's go after this one now.
Hi kids! There's no such thing as a boy or a girl, and I can prove it. So gather around the family, the parents, everybody, answer my questions. Okay, that is me from a few months ago, and I wanted to resurface this video because I stand by my statement, and I do think this should be taught to young people. I got so much SHIT for that video, and I don't know why people were coming after me and not examining what we do currently teach young people. That gender is real and girls are less than. Gender is real and girls are not as smart. Gender is real and boys shouldn't have feelings or whatever. You should teach that gender is constructed.
You should leave the kids alone, you freak. Oh my God. I mean, wow, seriously? this guy can't take a hint, can he? Mr. Non-binary, transgender, you need to go no contact with your parents, who's not a parent, but has some serious childhood trauma that he lays on everyone else. And did you know that Jeffrey Marsh is a life coach? And what is a life coach? Well, I know what a life coach is, but that's something that anyone could be. I could be a life coach. A life coach is just you self-appoint yourself because you think you have better life skills than other people. Wow. So that's why today's episode is about going after another one of these people. Okay, I'm going to have to watch my language. You all know that. It's a very delicate situation here. So you all know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. So with that, thanks again for joining me and really helping this channel grow and liking, subscribing, getting this to other people who need to see it, pushing it out there. The more people that see this, especially from a transsexual person who really doesn't like these people in the community. I don't think this person does not speak for trans people, and that's not a trans person. This person is something else, a gay man who somehow thinks they're non-binary and making that stuff up and going after the kids to teach them how to be non-binary and trans and all the other creepy stuff. So I pulled some videos out that I thought were going to represent today's. There are so much. I was looking at the videos on TikTok, you guys. Oh my God. It's like never ending. There's like so many of them. It's the creepiest thing ever. So let's get into this.
If you need a family, you can come hang out with me.
Gross.
They may not see the real you, but that does not mean that you're not real. I love you very much. I'm gonna go cry. With love.
What? You can just feel it through the camera. The G word. This dude is so luring young people with this sort of idea. I love you. Thousands of his videos are I love you. You're okay. You don't need, like, very hypnotic. There's an actual word or like a thing. I forgot what it's called, like NP something, where there's linguistics that train people's brain to sort of, I think cult leaders use it, and people who are trying to indoctrinate or influence people. He is an actual influencer, if that makes sense. That is influencing, and he goes after young people with this "you're okay, everything is okay, leave your parents." Like, it's the creepiest. Oh my God, here we go. Here's another one for you.
Here are 3 reasons why children should learn about trans people. Number 1, some kids are trans. I was.
They're not.
Trans kids deserve to see examples of themselves growing up. Number 2, obviously, trans folks exist. To tell kids about us is to prepare them for the real world. And number 3, we are a perfect metaphor. Being yourself, even though people hate you, is the perfect lesson.
He's not even trans. He's literally co-opting the trans space. He's non-binary. He's not even making any effort to transition. Okay, he puts eyeshadow on and lipstick and wears a dress every once in a while. He's not trans. This is the most insane thing. He's into trans kids exist. It's why they need to know about trans people. It's why we should teach them about trans people. You mean it's why we should indoctrinate them into thinking they can change themselves, when it's a complete total lie? And then when the whole mess hits the fan and all these detransitioners come around, I'm going to look, if anyone knows of a video of this person talking about detransitioners. I didn't see one instance of him speaking about detransitioners ever, because of course, you're not going to acknowledge that detransitioners exist when this person's whole platform is about indoctrinating children and talking to kids and telling them how bad their parents are and having no contact with their parents. And literally thousands of his videos are that this whole creepy way he talks to them. You're loved. I love you more than your parents do. You know, that is a form of when you start to tell these kids that you're better than their parents, or you're better than the adults in the room, or you'll be better for them, and they're better and they're loved. I love you. He says that a lot in his videos. I love you.
Well, I'll tell you specifically what a narcissist does. And I know narcissism is a specific diagnosis, so just sidestepping that for a moment. This is what a toxic parent does. They play to the audience. Always. So a toxic parent will not pull you aside and say, you seem kind of lonely to me and I really worry about you. Who are you seeing? You know, they won't have a one-to-one conversation with you. They'll wait until the family dinner, the Thanksgiving, the whatever, and in front of an audience they'll say, whatever happened to Ken? Why aren't you dating Ken anymore? They will perform for the audience to try to get other people onto their side against you.
Wow.
And another thing they'll do with an audience is become a different person. So a toxic parent will be very mean to you, very cruel to you, very hard to you in the car on the way to the event. But once they get there and there are other people around, they snap into the most perfect parent you've ever seen, the most loving, the most great, you got to keep the family secrets vibe. Get out of those relationships as soon as you can, as quickly as you can.
It literally says, join me on Patreon, link in my bio, so that you could be more sneaky and talk to them behind. We all know it. It's been exposed. That video is all over the place. We are all telling kids to meet you on Patreon without their parents. This guy is so traumatized by his childhood. It's crazy. He is so reflecting his own crappy childhood with crappy parents who did something crappy to him. And now he thinks he knows everything about parenting. The guy without the kids, okay, except your kid. He wants your kid so that he can take all his childhood trauma and lay it on top of your kid so that he can save them from toxic. He just literally... That whole video was all about his own childhood. He completely used his own childhood. And the opening statement of narcissist, the biggest narcissist besides the other ones, Lily Tino, what's the dude's name? Dylan Mulvaney, JVN, Luke, all those creepy dudes. They're all creeps. I love that he said narcissist, literally talking about himself.
I coach a lot of people one-on-one who want to go no contact with their parents and cannot bring themselves to admit it. They feel guilty, they feel awful, they know it's the right thing they want to do, and they can't admit it. That, to me, is a very separate situation from, I don't know if I want to go no contact or not. I've just heard about this. What would it look like? What are the ins and outs? What would happen? Is that the right thing for me or not? Right? This place of not knowing. If you're in the second category, give yourself space. Don't do anything yet. Give yourself space.
This guy is not a licensed therapist, yet he acts like a therapist. He's written books of self-help books. Okay, anyone can write I can write a self-help book right now. Seriously, anyone can write a self-help book. But he is acting like a therapist, as if he knows what to do in these This is the part that's really upsetting, because people will believe he knows what he's talking about. And instead of him coming to the table with, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a licensed medical whatever, I'm not blah blah blah, I'm just giving you my lived experience, or my, never does he say that. He comes to it as if he, you know, you can actually hire him. I look, he has a website where you can hire him to be your life coach. Can you imagine hiring this person to be your life coach? So you're going to walk around in the world, I love you. It's like totally being in some cult. It doesn't matter that you say nasty things about me. I just love myself. It's so cultish.
I'm gonna still say it. Jeffrey Marsh is a predator. Oh well, you don't like it? Tough. Tell him to stop targeting kids then.
I can hold your pain. What I assume, what I project is going on is that you are in a lot of pain.
See?
And it's very easy to blame me for your pain.
You think?
And I'm very sorry that you're in pain. And I wanted to let you know that throughout my life, I have seen a lot of pain. I've been around a lot of pain. I've experienced a lot of pain.
No shit.
And I can be a sponge for you. I can take your pain. I don't mind.
Wow. He's fully going to start crying, right? Like a little child. All his childhood trauma just keeps coming to this. I can take it. He's literally going to crumble. One day, this dude is going to just lose it because he's taking on everyone's pain as if it's not bothering. That is impossible. To take on all the hate this dude takes on and act like it's not bothering him. It's why I'm showing you these ones where people go after him and then he says all of this stuff that I feel your pain and I know because I also had childhood pain. There he goes. He loves to talk about his childhood pain and how he's still dealing with his childhood pain. So why would you ever even hire somebody to help you with your childhood pain if you haven't even learned how to deal with your, like, he can't, how can he do that? You know, I want to say this before I move on. Of course, things happen when you're a kid. Of course, there's bad parents out there. Of course, there's bad people out there. Of course, people have bad experiences when they're a kid. Okay, I've had bad experiences as a youth and as a child. So what? I went to some hardcore therapy. I knocked that shit out and I got back on the horse again. But I don't really believe this person is really wanting anyone to get back on the horse. They want to keep you hanging off the horse so that they can keep pushing you on and pulling you off and pushing you on. It's such a grift. It's such a gross grift.
Jeffrey Marsh regularly targets his content at kids.
This is what I always think of when I see these videos. When I was a kid, I was involved in a non-consensual incident. And the shame was supposed to be mine. Like, I didn't tell anybody for years, and I couldn't tell anybody. For years and years and years, because the shame, this horrible, immoral thing happened to me, and the shame was supposed to go this direction. It was supposed to belong to me. And that's what these videos remind me of. These immoral people make a living coming after innocent LGBTQ people, and the shame is supposed to go this way?
Innocent.
No, ma'am. No, sir. No, they. No. No more. The shame is not ever going to go this way again. If you do this for a living, if you're a bigot deep down in your heart, the shame is yours.
It's yours.
Shame on you.
Oh, that one was so telling. It's so telling. Let me just play that once more from the beginning here, real quick.
Jeffrey Marsh regularly targets his content at kids.
This is what I always think of when I see these videos.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I was involved in a non-consensual incident.
Okay, so a non-consensual incident, we all know what that is. Okay? And then he kept it a secret for a long time. Like, what, dude? It's obvious you were involved in probably many of those, and now you have trauma from it. But now we all know the abused becomes the abuser. That is an actual factual thing. The abused becomes the abuser. Wow, he just exposed that video. We could end now. What was it? That was the video that exposed him right there.
Stop encouraging kids to chat with you privately on your Patreon and not tell their parents, you fucking creep.
Well, one of us will need to choose de-escalation. One of us will need to choose kindness and peace at some point, and I'm happy for it to be me. And I'll tell you why I'm doing that. Selfish reasons. I'm committed to nonviolence in here and nonviolence everywhere. I am committed to choosing kindness here and choosing kindness everywhere. There are times when that is easier than other times, but I'm pretty good at it. I wish you the same peace and choosing nonviolence.
Then why do you look so angry? You look like you're about to explode. After you get off the camera, I bet you're slamming your fist into the wall or doing something insane, maybe sucking down a bottle of tequila. You look rough there. You look literally rough there, Jeffrey. I hope you see this video. I hope you see this video. You are looking rough around the edges, friend. You need to stop. The universe, because I think Jeffrey thinks he's a Buddhist. The universe is telling you to stop. Okay, if all of these people on the internet keep telling you to leave the kids alone, but you keep doing it, you're not a Buddhist and you're not listening to the universe, okay? It's not just one person. Everyone sees what you're doing. There's a reason why we all see what you're doing, because what you're doing is you're exposing yourself under the guise of being a trans non-binary person, and that you had hurt as a child, and that everyone's supposed to feel sorry for you, but you're not healed. You are far from healed, far from it.
This makes people money. You're a groomer. You're a groomer. Groomer. It is economic. It's their job as these types of influencers to keep people afraid of trans folks and clicking on videos. They want to trade trans safety for money. But it has this interesting unintended consequence in that it has made me and many people like me into focused, strong, incredibly enthusiastic truth tellers. And we must be powerful and we must be relevant, or they would not come after us like this. These types of videos make me want to get up every day and do the mission more. Help people hate themselves less and forward LGBTQ acceptance. Will you join me?
That was literally an ad for a cult. That was actually the ad for the cult. Will you join me? It makes me want to get up even more every day for the mission. See, he's got a mission. His mission. Less hate for that. Let me tell you something, Jeffrey. The community was less hated before you came along. You and Lily and all the rest of you clowns. It was less hated. So why don't you take yourself off the internet, okay? You narcissist, and maybe there'll be less hate on the hate. I don't get that hate. I don't get any of that. And don't you dare say I'm on the right, because if you also look at his stuff, it's always about the right-leaning, the right. There are a lot of left-leaning people who do not like you, by the way. And we can actually see what you're doing. There's people in the community who dislike you, okay? There are people I don't hate you. I dislike you. I dislike your targeting of young, very vulnerable kids who think somehow that you love them and that you care about them.
Okay, there's a spot we can go to where everything's okay.
What?
Would you like to go with me?
Wow. Wow.
You're going to be okay.
Wow. I wanted to end with that one because it says everything. Dressed like a cult leader, looks like a cult leader. The talk, all of it, just this trying to hypnotize you into thinking he really cares about you and that you will be loved here and come here and I love you. Wow, just wow. Oh man, let's just, hopefully this one is going to get sick and tired of it like Lily and Bale, or hopefully maybe people are going to start looking into the computer thing. And, you know, I'm going to leave this for you, Jeffrey, because I know you'll probably watch it. One of your members will send it to you. Please stop. Just stop. You're not special. You're not trans. You don't speak for the trans community. You speak for yourself. I don't speak for the trans community. I speak for myself, okay? As a transsexual who is considered an elder in the community, you are destroying everything we built, okay? You are making no effort to transition. You have your eyes set on young people, which is disturbing and wrong, and the reason why people are coming after you. So take a break, get off the internet, do what you need to do, but leave the kids alone. I just can't even believe this is about to happen in this country. Pay attention.
Let's get stuck into this, shall we? A global leader in digital gender-affirming healthcare has officially launched in the United States. I'd argue it comes with some controversy. GenderGP.com is offering evidence-based and affordable access to care for transgender and non-binary individuals across certain states in the US. And that includes, by the way, individuals, includes children.
What? Did you hear that? Digital. So it's online. This Dr. Helen Weberly is a wingnut psychopath, in my opinion. Wait till I show you. If you don't know who she is, you're going to know by the end of this video, and you're going to be disgusted. And this psychopath is bringing her gender-affirming care. When you just listen to what this interview is about, is going to blow your mind. This person, I just gotta stop because I can just say so many things right now. And I really want to be focused on this for you and for me. So with that, thank you so much for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you so much for liking and commenting. Your comments are amazing. And with that, I really want to get into this because this is so important. This crazy person is bringing their gender clinic, which includes for kids, children, puberty blockers. This woman pushes puberty blockers like they're candy. Okay? They're bringing it to the USA. Okay? Okay. Just stop, Buck. Stop. I have to talk myself off the cliff. Okay? So let's get back into this video.
Well, joining me now is Dr. Helen Weberly, the founder of GenderGP.com. Helen, thank you for your company. Welcome along.
Thank you very much.
Just to clarify, just tell us what GenderGP.com does. You basically provide referrals for prescriptions from doctors for people who want to access puberty blockers, cross-hormone drugs, and so on.
Yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, gender-affirming care means switching off your own hormone production from your ovaries or testicles and then swapping it with the opposite hormone. So basically, that's how it works.
Okay, so you're active in the UK. You're based where? Singapore?
I live in UK, Spain, that area.
Okay, and which states are you going to be offering this service to?
No, don't make me list them because geography's not my best.
I think I've got to know. I'll tell you.
You've got to know. You tell me.
California, New York, Colorado, Illinois, Washington State, Arizona, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Minnesota. First questions first. Why particularly just a certain few states? Is it because of certain laws in different states?
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult political arena, isn't it, at the moment? As you've mentioned in your intro, there's a lot of social and political chatter. So I think, to start gently with the kind of the less controversial views is an easier way of approaching it, really.
Okay.
OMG, she's coming to my state. I'm not gonna. Oh no, lady, you are in for a big surprise when you try to open that clinic here in California, Arizona, New York. I don't remember the other ones at this point, but you all remember. And let's just make a list of those and let's get on this ASAP. That clinic was shut down in the UK, by the way, because this doctor lost their license, which I will show you a little bit more as we progress. But I want to go through this interview first. This psychopath, crazy Dr. Evil is now trying to bring her medicine into our country because it's been blocked in her country. Do you see that? It's actually insane that this is happening. And to the person and persons out there who sent me this video this morning, thank you so much. Oh my God, I'm so glad we are on this ASAP. Okay, so, and also don't forget, it's digital. You can digitally do your appointment and get puberty blockers for your 10-year-old. It's so, oh my God, it's just wow, just effing wow.
So let's get stuck into this. In February 24, Dr. Helen, the Telegraph reported that the Clinical Commissioning Group for South East London Clinic had issued a safety alert for gendergp.com, saying that, advising doctors not to prescribe puberty blockers or gender-affirming hormone therapy on your company's advice because your clinic doesn't provide physiological or psychological support to its patients. You were struck off by the GMC in 2024. What was that for?
No. I've not been struck off by the GMC in 2024.
You've lost your license to practice?
I don't have a license to practice. I relinquished my license to practice, but I didn't. So
why didn't you renew it?
Why didn't I renew it?
Yeah.
Because I had regulatory work, if you like, for 6 years, and it was then too late to go back into it, basically. But I was cleared in March 24. The High Court cleared me of everything that the GMC were looking at.
You were also involved, this is pertinent to our discussion, so I'm just going to reel through these. You also, in 2024, the High Court ruled...
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, a 15-year-old child was prescribed dangerous levels of hormones by your unregulated online clinic.
Wait.
Without speaking to a doctor.
Where are you getting that one from?
Court transcripts from the High Court.
Which High Court?
In London.
No.
The teenager known as Jay was born female but identifies as a boy and has autism.
That's not UK news. That was an Australian case.
Judge Sir Andrew McFarlane said there must be a very significant concern about the prospect of a young person such as Jay accessing cross-hormone treatment from any offshore, online, unregulated private clinic. The judgment in your case, Dr. Helen, says there was no medical examination, blood testing or other clinical evaluation was undertaken. Jay has not had any direct communication with a doctor at any stage during the referral to Gender GP.
OMG, unregulated. Those unregulated. It's an... I'm going to keep saying it. How can there be a clinic giving out cross-sex hormones, giving out puberty blockers, which are still experimental, to little kids? And do you notice how nervous she is? She's always very nervous. And she's always like this. And no, that's not right. I'm going to tell you that I just did that video on the BBC and how they were totally blocking trans people who were opposing trans surgery. This isn't BBC, this is GB News, which I find to be a better news program. But that being said, I don't believe anything that comes out of this lady's mouth, because as we progress in this video, you are going to see what a complete wingnut liar she is. Unregulated clinic, online digital, no evaluations, like all of these things, and you're telling me that trans kids exist, and you're letting doctors like this touch children, people? Doctors like this should be in jail. She lost her license, which I will show you in a minute. I'm sorry if I'm screaming and crazy, but that's my energy around this, because I care about these kids a lot, and I care about this, and no way are you bringing that shit to this country. I'm gonna be so on top of this.
Your husband, Mike Webberley, is he involved in Gender GP? No. He's on your website.
Well, he may be from old, but he's not involved.
Why was he struck off?
There were many different reasons in that court case against my husband, but he's not here. I think if you want to ask him, you would ask him.
The Telegraph reported a reckless doctor, referring to your husband, who wrongly prescribed puberty blockers to a transgender 9-year-old child after a 10-minute chat on Skype, has been struck off. Michael Weberly's treatment of 24 patients was deemed a catalogue of failings between February 2017 and June 2019. That's what the tribunal found.
Well, this is what the Telegraph is reporting, yeah.
Directly from the tribunal. So your husband, Mike Weberly, has nothing to do with Gender GP?
No.
But the reason I'm asking these questions is because you're now coming into the United States off the back of a whole host of controversy. You dish out puberty blockers you refer prescriptions for doctors for puberty blockers.
Puberty blockers are prescribed by doctors. So it's I mean, you talk about the fact there's no doctor involved. I mean, how can you possibly get medicines without a doctor involved? You know.
It happens all the time, lady, because people go on the internet and they have an appointment, like you just said, digitally, because there are those things here in the United States, and all you see is a therapist, and next thing you know, there's loopholes. There is 100% loopholes around all this. Don't listen to her. You can get it without a doctor because they're getting it without doctors, okay? People are even talking about it here, and I've heard people talking, okay, well, I don't know physically heard, but I've read that they're looking how to create an underground railroad system to create so that parents can still get the puberty blockers for their children, okay, without doing it legally. So what do this woman just lies out of her ass constantly, but you wait, it's going to get even more insane what she says.
It's very easy to give this one side of the argument from newspaper headlines because that's what sells newspapers. But what you have to do is look at the whole picture. How can you possibly dish out a puberty blocker from a doctor with no contact with a doctor? Okay.
My 2-year-old son came up to me the other day. I went back home to the UK. And he said, "Daddy, I'm going to have a baby." And I said, "Zach, you can't have a baby because you're a boy. You're a man. You can't have babies." And he said, "Well, I'm going to be a girl. I want to be a girl." What would you have said to him if you were me?
Well, I wouldn't have said, "Zach, you're a boy and boys can't have babies," because that's absolutely not true. So, I mean, I don't know what your parenting is like.
And you don't think think boys can have babies?
You mean males?
Yes.
Yes.
You think you think males can have babies?
Yes.
Right.
Do you want me to explain?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So transgender males have a womb, a uterus, and ovaries. Okay, so they were born, if you like, female, but they actually identify as males. So we refer to them as males.
But you just said they were born female. You actually said it. So what the F are you talking about, lady? I am a female. Don't you dare talk over me. Don't you dare represent me, okay? Don't you dare lie to the world about what a trans man is. A trans man is female. You literally just said it, okay? I am not a man. Men do not get pregnant. Men do not have menstruation, okay? So here's this is the doctor that you're going to trust your kid with in order, and then she's pushing back on this guy saying that, well, you're not a very good parent. I'm going to tell you that dude is an awesome parent because he's being real with his kid. Because when you lie to your little kid and then they grow up and figure out the truth, how do you think they're going to be with you as a parent? They're going to think you're lied about everything. What a psycho. This person has kids? Or your kids?
Ovaries, a womb, a uterus, a vagina, and that means you can carry a baby.
Transgender males being women.
Well, that's extremely disrespectful to transgender males. I don't.
Well, they are women, aren't they? They're biological women.
They are males.
Well, if they're males,
what do you mean by biological women?
Well, hang on a minute. If they're males, why do you call them transgender males? Why put transgender in the?
Transgender is an adjective.
Right, but if they just call them males, then why do you call them transgender males?
No problem at all.
So you're changing that now?
No, I'm not changing that. You said can males have babies, and I said yes, males can have babies.
Well, all over your website, you refer to transgender women, transgender males. If these people are genuinely male and female, why do you call them transgender?
Well, why do you use adjectives for anything? If you're clarifying, if you're teaching somebody like I'm teaching you now, you need to clarify, and there you go.
This woman mixes up language, okay? There is something that I just learned, and it's this phrase that says, it's this quote that I saw this person say, language changes when leaders try to hide flaws. This person, okay, a leader in trans children healthcare is changing language because they know they have flaws in their ideology. And when you first off said I'm a female because I'm a trans man, then you keep going and saying that I'm a male, you're trying to mix people up with changing of language. That's exactly because you have flaws in your ideology. You're lying to the world about what a man and a woman is, and that children can change their sex. They cannot change their sex. Okay? So I'm going to stop there at the interview because she's a wingnut. And I'm going to put a link to this because you should watch the whole thing. It gets totally insane, and she's totally insane. But that was, to me, the most important part of this. It's coming to the States. They're going to try to use Gender GP, which was shut down in the UK, to open up in already how many 5 or 6 states in our country, okay, under the guise of gender affirming care for children, which all the major, I don't know how they're legally going to do this, because all the major hospitals shut down their gender clinics and stopped using puberty blockers. So I want first to give you a little bit a background on the nutcase, okay? So she did get her postgraduate qualifications in general practice in sexual health, okay? That's the kind of doctor she is, in 1992. And then I put in, is Helen Weberly still a doctor? And it says this: Helen Weberly's license to practice was revoked by the General Medical Council on July 2024 after failing to comply with her legal obligations to revalidate her license every 5 years. And she even said it there. She doesn't have a license. She does not have she's not a doctor. Yet she keeps putting doctor in front of her name. She's not legally a doctor. She's a psychopath. And I'm just like, so I guess any psychopath can be a doctor. Gender GP is an online gender clinic founded in 2015 by physicians Ellen Weberly and Mike Weberly, her husband, who also was prescribing illegally hormone blockers, okay? And now is based in Singapore. It has been the subject of controversy in the United Kingdom as a result of regulatory action. Now they're going to do it. Now they're going to come and open it in the US. Okay? It's actually insane. Also, the thing that's so insane, alongside Susie Green, the former CEO of Mermaids, which was also shut down, Gender GP launched a charitable fund February 2023 to provide gender-affirming healthcare to young trans people through the clinic services. This is the creepy part. Twitch streamer and gamer Finster donated $50,000 to the fund in May 2023. So I went, who's Finster? So I went and I looked to see who Finster is. OMG. Is an English internet personality known for long-term cross-dressing, a Twitch streamer, TikToker, YouTube, and an OnlyFans model. So this dude, who's a cross-dresser, who's part of the whole insane new trans woman thing, has built a huge following and is now supporting Gender GP, okay, with a $50,000 grant donation to help transition children. This is the people who are connected to this creepy, weird abuse of children. It is mind-blowing to me that we're letting this happen. So I also have this one thing I want to show, because this is actually a really big, important part of this story here. Okay, so I'm going to read this article to you. Puberty blocker curb has not led to suicide rise. Review. Okay? So then it goes on. There is no evidence of a large rise in suicide in young patients attending a gender identity clinic in London, an independent review has found. Professor Lewis Appleby was asked by Health Secretary Wes Streetling to examine the data following claims made by campaigners of a rise of suicide rates since puberty-blocking drugs were restricted at the Tavistock and Portman NHS Trust in 2020. Professor Appleby's review concluded the data did not support the claim, and he added, the way the issue had been discussed on social media was insensitive, distressing, and dangerous. Joe McHam, founder of the Good Law Project, which has led the claims he had profound difficulties with the review. unsafe language. As you all know, I've always said this. The Department of Health and Social Care said it was vital the public discussion around the issue was handled responsibly. Professor Appleby, who is a professor of psychiatry and experienced suicide researcher from the University of Manchester, said online discussion about the issue has gone against guidance on safe reporting of suicide. One risk is that young people and their families will be terrified by predictions of suicide as inevitable without puberty blockers. Some of the responses on social media show this, he said. There was also the risk that distressed adolescents hearing the message could be led to copy the behavior warned about. Oh my God, we've all been saying this. He also said the claims placed in the public domain about the explosion in suicide do not meet basic standards for statistical evidence. The Good Law Project is challenging the decision by the previous health secretary to end the prescription of puberty blocker drugs by private clinics, GP, to children and young people with gender dysphoria. The case follows the Cass review published in April, which found a lack of evidence on the use of the treatment for under 18. In response to their claims, the new health secretary launched an independent review led by Professor Appleby, which analyzed data from NHS England on suicides of patients at the Tavistock Clinic based on the adult at the trust. Listen to this. Covering the period between 2018 to 19 and 2023 through 24, he found there were 12 suicides, 5 in the 3 years leading up to 2021 and 7 in the 3 years afterward. This is essentially no different, Professor Appleby says in his report, taking account of expected fluctuations in small numbers and would not reach statistical significance. He adds, in the under 18 specifically, there were 3 suicides and 3 after 20 to 21. The patients who died were in different points in the care system, including post-discharge, suggesting no consistent link to any one aspect of care, Professor Appleby noted. However, he said it was likely there has been a rise over a long period as more young people at risk come forward with gender identity problems. That's because it's being talked about, right? And they're saying if you don't transition, you're going to kill yourself. They're literally putting they just said that, right? Insufficient evidence. The Good Law Project based its claim on information provided by whistleblowers at the now closed Tavistock Clinic. Project Executive Director Mr. Magam said in a lengthy response to the review on X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever, that this has been combined with public evidence of Tavistock's own minutes. He said freedom of information request for official figures has been rebuffed, and that Tavistock and the NHS England had declined to comment on his findings when approached. Gee, that's weird. Mr. Magam said that review considered current and former gender identity development service patients, while his figures were directed to the larger group and those on the waiting list. The DHSC has insisted that patients on waiting lists were included in the review as well. The DHSC spokesperson said decisions on children's health care must follow the evidence at all times. Dr. Cass' review found there were insignificant evidence to show puberty blockers were safe for under 18, which is why the NHS has already stopped their routine prescription for children with gender dysphoria. We are committed to ensuring children questioning their gender receive the best possible multidisciplinary care led by expert clinical guidance. That is why we are reforming the gender identity services. It is vital that the public discussion around the issue is handled sensitively and responsibly. And so that's what we've all been saying. It hasn't been handled sensitively or responsibly. It's been one-sided. I even showed you the whistleblower yesterday on the one I read, okay, from the BBC, hiding factual evidence and letting trans activists lead the conversation. You can't let one side lead the conversation on either side. But now we got this wingnut doctor who's not a doctor anymore, so we need to stop even saying that, Helen Weberly, okay, bringing her psychotic clinic that was shut down in the UK to the US. Honestly, everybody, this is huge news, and we need to follow this. We all need to create some kind of petition. We need to go to every single one of our representatives, our mayors, whoever it is that we can get to show them the evidence that these clinics should never be open in the United States. If they're closing gender clinics at major hospitals, how are they able to open these clinics in the United States? This is an actual question that if you could put answers or your thoughts in the comments, it'll help to create this conversation that we can bring to the bigger picture. I mean, I have the chills. And I you know, how you all know how sensitive I am. I'm a sensitive dude, okay? And I'm sensitive for these kids. And I just cannot believe that this shit keeps happening. They keep finding avenues to bring this shit to children and to dupe parents and to manipulate parents into thinking that their child will off themselves if they don't do this. They're right there. It just showed you that that's not true. The rates of suicide did not go up. They did not, because they didn't get their medicine. These kids grow out of it. That's the evidence. That is solid 100% evidence. The majority of these kids will grow out of it. That's what we all should want. Even the transgender community, if you're real and you really understand this as an adult, you would hope that a child would grow out of this. You would never hope that a child would grow into this. That means you don't care. And that means it's all about you. So, thanks. I'm wearing my dad shirt today. I'm wearing my dad. I felt like wearing my dad. This is my dad shirt that I go to like dad meetings. So I look like a dad. But anyway, baby girl is just doing amazing. And my son is doing amazing. And I have an amazing family. And I'm going to keep fighting for families and kids. And I'm just going to keep doing it.